Hi everybody, this is Trish from Art Journal Junkie, and this is my blue-haired girl. Now I was looking for something to start to draw the face with, and a dinner plate was just too large, and a side plate was also just too large. Then I remembered I had a beautiful candle that one of my children had given me as a gift, and the lid was just the absolute perfect size. So what I've done here is I've traced around the lid, and that is the basis of this whimsical girl that I'm going to paint today. I divide the circle into quarters, and you'll see that the horizontal line is where the eyes will be placed. Now between that and the edge of the circle, I place another line halfway down. That will be for her nose, and again I divide this area into two, and that will be placement for the mouth. So no face is perfectly round, and in the case of whimsical girl, she could have a long face, a thin face, but I just give her a tiny little bit of a chin on the outside of the edge of the circle, because I know that the rest of it is going to be covered up with hair. I'm measuring out where I want to place the eyes, and I'm doing them equidistant from that center line that I drew earlier on. You know, the face is not really symmetrical, but this is not meant to be a realistic face anyway. So it's my comfort zone that I work with rulers and lines that are horizontal and parallel. So I'm just placing the size of the eye so that I know that I don't make one bigger than the other. So my 4 marks show the outer and the inner edges of the eye. Then I take a stencil with a circle, and that is just going to denote sort of halfway in between those two dots is going to be the iris. I beg your pardon. I forgot what size circle I used. So that's the iris, and now I'm going to flatten up the top against the iris, and under normal circumstances the iris wouldn't be as exposed with an eye, but in this case, because she's whimsical, I want to give her that bright-eyed look. I just do 2 little circles for the pupils, and then I start working on the shape of the eye. So my nose is a little curlicue shape. That's the way I draw noses. Some people don't, they just use a little L shape. Whatever floats your boat, you know, this is your blue-haired girl. For the lips, I've made 2 little circles above the line and 1 larger one below, and then I extend out a line either side in an upward shape because I wanted to look happy. Here I'm just adding another line on either side, on either eye. That's sort of the eye fold, if you want. The little circles are my guidelines for the top of the lips. And one thing I must tell you is the bottom lip never meets exactly at the corner of the top lip. So you'll see I don't meet it up, I don't meet the bottom and the top up, and it gives a more sort of pleasing look to the mouth. Okay, eyebrows you take from your nostril, go up, and wherever you want to put wherever you want to put your nostril, really, wherever you want to put your eyebrow, that's where you draw it. Now, I was born in the 60s, and in the 60s and 70s people plucked their eyebrows, so I do really thin eyebrows. I've just added 4 little lashes either side, and instead of completing the eye as an almond shape, today I've decided to keep it a little bit straightish. Just a slight little bend there. Okay, I'm going to add the hair now. Now remember, the top of the circle is not the top of the head. Okay, we actually could have erased that completely, which we will in a moment, but whimsical girls always have big hair. To do the neck, I've taken the point from the side of the mouth down, and I'm just sketching in what I think is a neck and shoulders. It's going to fall away anyway with this big hair that I'm going to paint in there. And now I'm just placing guidelines of where I'm going to paint her beautiful blue hair. I'm quite pleased. She's looking a bit pretty already, and she'll be even prettier once we erase all those markings that helped me to place her. Now that I was ready to get her painted, I wanted to use gelatos in the background, and in my opinion gelatos work far better when the page is gessoed. So I took some gesso and I only gessoed the edges of the page. I left the actual image of the whimsical girl ungessoed. Here you'll see I'm using my gelatos with a baby wipe. I love this technique. And here's this pistachio green. It's not my favorite color, but it's one that I really am trying to get to like. So I've added some blue and some pink to the background, just to appease my happy soul, because those really are my colors of blue and pink. But we'll add this little bit of green in because I've got to get out my comfort zone. And the pink that I used, I could not remember what it was when I wanted to add more, so never mind, I just picked up another one and added that in too. Then I picked up a stamp. It's a locally made stamp, so I'm not going to worry about giving you the name. And I used a little archival ink. I think it was a sort of a mulberry red colour. And that just added a little bit more to the background. What I've done with this journal is I've actually taken the pages and stuck them together as well, because I'm going to be using a lot of water and the pages aren't handling the water well until it actually dries, I must be fair. So now I want to do the flesh colour, and I don't keep such a colour in my paint stash, so I'm going to make my own. You can Google how to make flesh tinted paint if you wish, but let me tell you, I just use orange and, I beg your pardon, I use yellow and red and white, and I just mix until I get the colour that I think is a flesh colour. You know, as we said, it's not a realistic painting, so just a hint of pink there, into the flesh tone, and I'm ready to start painting my gal. Right, once I was happy with all my shading of the face, I went over it with my flesh colour for one last time. Now I'm going to do her hair. I found some glitter acrylics or glitter paint, and I thought that would put a bit of zhuzh into her hair. Can you see that? It's so pretty. Now here I'm going to build up, and I don't want to make the paint flat on the page. I want to have some texture. So where the acrylic leaves edges or high raised edges, I don't mind. That's what I want. So I'm leaving it like that. And every now and then I just dip my brush into the white paint and or the blue paint, give it a bit of a deeper stripe and a streak here and there. And so I'm just building up here, dipping my paint into the darker blue, the white, wherever the fancy takes me. And I like the build-up of the acrylic paint on the page. I have no intention of making it flat. I quite like that there's some raised edges. Now I must apologize, my battery went flat on my camera while I was doing the outlining. So I'm going to just quickly explain what I did. So I used my PITT artist pens, and I just gently went around the eyes with a very fine pen. Then I used the brush pen to bring out the eyelashes, and even over her lips and her nostrils I used a very fine PITT pen. Then I took a Sharpie and just went around the outline of the hair and started doing the border. So here I'm going to speed up so that you don't have to watch me mindlessly color in little squares. Now I'm using a white Sharpie, or you can use a paint pen, and in my little black squares I'm just doing numbers and the alphabet. So here I'm using my own font, and I'm using JOANNE Sharpe's Thicket technique again. I've left the link to her blogspot below. I really suggest that you take one of her classes. She's absolutely awesome, and if it wasn't for her I wouldn't have found my own font. So I'm going to speed up the video in a moment so that you don't have to watch me fighting with all the dry pens that I had in my stash. I actually threw away 6 this day. Now I've gone and taken out my Caran D'Ache pencils, and I'm just defining her lips, a little bit more of the shading, and again, nothing too hectic, just to give her a little bit more dimension with her face. And of course, don't forget the little bit of white on the bottom lip, because that's the little pillow. Again, good old white Sharpie, doing a whole bunch of doodling down the bottom. And like Tisha Moore said in one of her classes, if you think you are finished, go back and do some more. So I sort of went back and did a little bit more. I took out another pen that dried up on me, so that one went into the bin as well. And finally I looked at her hair and I thought there really needs to be something more there, it's a bit too bland. So I grabbed, you can see I'm testing my markers, my Copics out on a piece of paper, and I grabbed a slightly darker blue, not too dark that it's stark, and I just added in some curls. I didn't want to lose the effect of the background of her hair either. And there we go, my blue-haired girl. I wish I had the chutzpah to have my hair dyed bleu or blue. I had a purple rinse once, but it just was not the same.